I'm doing here just the late pick four, and my reasoning is like these races are the kind of hard ones on the card, and if for people that want to do like the pick five, the pick six, I think these races before these two races before are a lot more favorite heavy. I really there's like one or two horses in each race that I think people are gonna like. So do the pick four, get the complicated stuff coverage, and then people can build out their own ticket with like one or two extra horses, you know.
Hmm.
But
We
it's
do.
a couple. What's up?
You do the heavy lifting. You do the hard work.
Basically, yeah,
Wow.
giving the people the results, and they
A
just put them
horse
in.
hero.
Thank you. But it's a couple juvenile races, 2 year olds. So that's kind of that's part of the hardness. Those are difficult races typically for me. Um, so it starts out 2 year old race right off the bat. Pretty decent field. These are 2 year olds that have got a couple of races in and some better races at that. Like some graded stakes, some non graded stakes. But my main pick would be politically correct. Got Luis Saez now instead of Jose, but super good race in the Bashford. Um, Made a good move at the turn to win that and won by 5 lengths. That was at 6 furlongs too. This race is going at 7, so I like the young horses to have a little bit more stretch out in their past performances. I guess most of these horses have about a 6 furlong race at least. But good early speed from politically correct. Going to be close to the front of the pace or just off it. Um, Last time came off of 21:45 fractions to win it at 6 furlongs, and those the maiden and the Bashford are both off of Lasix, which I like. And then the last two workouts were really good, like a 5 furlong workout and then a 47 second for 4 furlong fastest of that day. So that's really good. I don't know. I hope Louis does all right. I don't even know if it'll actually be Luis Saez because a lot of these jockeys right now are getting listed for Ellis Park and Saratoga races. Like they'll agree
Mm.
to different rides, and then just depending on what they actually do that day.
Wow.
Brian Hernandez did something crazy the other week. He was like in Saratoga, in Louisiana, and in Ellis Park within like a 24-hour period for 3 different races.
Oh wow.
It's insane.
I'm guessing they have private jets and all in the works.
I'm sure that the people, the owners that want them, get
Yeah,
them around however they need to. Yeah. So I don't know who the jockey will end up being. That's another thing with these Ellis Park races. I think is make sure you see who the jockey is, because you'll see like even Jose Ortiz and sometimes Irad get on these horses, and then they're not there at all, and it's someone else. Second horse I like, I'm gonna spread in the 2 year old races is Three Echoes. Um, it's got Eric Asmussen here. Good team up. That's a pretty crazy team up here. 143 team ups between Steven and Eric Asmussen. 25% win rate at 143 starts. That's really good.
yeah.
But won the maiden and then has come in third twice in some stakes races. The last time in the Sanford, which was a really good race. That Moplex horse that won that was really fast. And then Studley Do Right has beat this horse twice, but is a really good horse. I think he won after that Sanford. I'm pretty sure he came back and won. Also, we see Touchy down here, who's running in Saratoga tomorrow. I think also beat this horse by just half a length. And then some good speed figures. Uh, Comes off of these what we're going to see in this race as far as fractions pretty well, and I think has some late speed that maybe it can make up ground if the fractions go really fast and a couple of these horses wear out at the 7 furlongs. Maybe it can make up ground late. So I like Three Echoes. And then if I were to throw a third in here, and I guess like I'm doing the pick four, so I'm gonna throw in the extra horses. If you're doing the pick six, maybe drop some of them. but would be the favorite Owen Almighty, the 7 horse. It's just like a good speed horse, but only won the maiden. That's its only race. Good workouts, good jockey team up here, but I like the other 2 horses better just because they got a little bit more experience. I don't know how good that maiden race is. You never really know when a horse just kind of speeds a maiden race and then what they're going to look like coming back. So that would be the 3rd horse I'd throw in, but you could definitely, I think, leave that to politically correct and 3 Echoes. They're kind of ahead of the rest of the pack.
Literally, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully by a million links, literally.
Hmm. A million
And then next,
links.
yeah.
That'd be a good if you wanted to do merch.
Oh, a merch, yeah, million links.
Million links.
I like that. Come up with a good graphic for it.
Hmm.
Next race, another 7 furlong 2-year-old. This is for just fillies. Similar pack, like some horses that got a little showed up good in the maiden or got a race or two. I think this race is a bit closer than the last one. But I'm still gonna throw in 3 horses that I like. Top one would be um oh, she's a funky drummer.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have both of the Larry Ravelli horses here. She's a funky drummer, and then my second horse is Rich City Girl. Um, the Larry Ravelli horses, like, he doesn't race a lot, and when he does, they're very well timed. So if these horses are coming back, it's probably for a reason. You'll see better speed figures on the 6 stilettos, but that was a 5 furlong with Lasix. That was a maiden 33,000. So I think these horses have better class. She's a funky drummer, has run in a stakes race, her second race, and won that. And again, like, the fractions she's ran at in her 2 career races are probably what we're going to see here today. And the workouts are pretty insane. 46, 47, 46 seconds for 4 furlongs 3 different times. That's really good for a 2-year-old. And then as far as the other Larry horse, Rich City Girl, similar situation. I think Rich City Girl is more an early speed horse, and she's a funky drummer. Will come a little bit off the pace, so kind of covering 2 different running styles to see what the bias is that day, I guess. Gerardo Corrales is looking pretty good recently. He's been running really good. He's been moving a lot between Saratoga and here as well. And I guess he's performing maybe a little worse here at Ellis Park. But the team up with Larry Ravelli, 2 at 3 in the money, so pretty good.
Were
I
either of
like
them
that.
favorites? Who's the favorite?
I think Rich City Girl will be the favorite, it looks like.
Oh,
But it'll probably be close between her and Stilettos. I think Stilettos is going to take a lot of money just because of the early speed.
okay.
But I also like Rich City Girls. Her maiden was in Ellis Park. I like that. And then the last horse I would throw in is American Woman. I think this horse will come even a little bit further up the pace. That kind of like mid pace stalker type horse coming from the outside with Christian Torres, who, again, usually see his number a little higher at Ellis Park, I think, but he's still been riding really good. Last time out, this horse improved quite a bit, speed figure wise. It was a little drop in class, so don't know how much you can read into that. A lot of these horses kind of bounce around at the maiden price their first few races. A lot of maiden 30s, maiden claimer 40s in this race. So I think that's a pretty good result still from American Woman. But yeah, I like that she's coming from the outside just a little bit off the pace, maybe. Also, won at Ellis Park on the maiden, so that's at 7 furlongs. So this is the only horse that has run 7 furlongs in this race, so
Oh,
that's big. And that was her maiden win, so at Ellis, so that's a really good angle, I think.
yeah.
Just won at this distance in her maiden win a month ago. I like that. All right, we'll do a recap at the end. And we'll go ahead and hit the soundbite, even though Flav's not going to be in any of these.
I got Flav.
The ninth race, another 7 furlongs. This is for Phillies 3 year olds, so still pretty young horses, but these horses, this is a pretty experienced bunch. I'm gonna try the single, I think, in this race. There's one horse that's just obviously above the rest with the Tarifa, the number one with this is they call this Flo Cox scare when you got Florent Giroux with Brad Cox. That's a Flo
Yeah,
Cox.
yeah, that's Wilcott.
Flo Cox is uh, teaming up at 22%. Florent Giroux is winning at 26% air at Ellis. I love the inside rail just off the pace angle with this horse. Only the second time in its career it's going to be running at a, or it's actually never, or yeah, its maiden was at 7 furlongs. But it's been a while since it ran at that distance. It's been stretching out in like really big races. It was in the Kentucky Oaks. It was in Fairground Oaks. Won the Fairground Oaks. In the Kentucky Oaks, obviously, that was like a really big field. So coming off of that, going into this race is a huge class drop. And I think you're just hoping that maybe it built some confidence up in that last race, even though it wasn't a good race for it. Just running such a big field with so much speed and big horses. Sometimes you'll see it just kind of strengthen the horse a little bit, confidence wise. But it's a
Um,
Brad Cox. What?
Flo Cox.
It's a Flo Cox horse. It's
Um,
hard to go against a Flo
is the
Cox.
is the number one spot out of the 7 furlong? Are you worried about that?
Here
Out
at
of the
Ellis,
shoot?
nah, here at Ellis, it's not really a chute, or I guess it kind of is, but it's wider than the chute, for example, at
Mm.
Saratoga.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely something to consider, but I think when you have a horse that's just so much class compared to the other horses, they're not going to get spooked if they get pinned on the rail as much, maybe.
Mm.
If we look at the bias, the track bias, they've had 9 races at the 7 furlong, and the bias is definitely for the inside position. So if anything, it seems to be a little bit of a bonus, kind of staying inside and saving ground. Not running as much.
Mm. Hmm.
I guess one thing you could worry about is Tarifa is an off the pace horse, and these other horses there's I guess all the speed is kind of outside, so she should have room to break out and not get pinned in the rail.
Yeah.
And she's not sitting too far back either on these other races, like 23:47 at a mile and a 16, 22:46, and she's only 2 lengths off the pace, so she should still be not too far off any of the speed outside. Probably
Hmm.
Tambo is going to be the leading speed. I guess that would be the other horse I like in this race. I'm trying to keep it a small ticket though, so I'm just going with the Flo Cox horse.
Love it.
And then last race, the 10. This is a mile race, the Groupie Doll Stakes for fillies and mares 3 years and up. Interesting race. I like the mile distance at Ellis. Couple horses that are probably going to take most of the money, so you'll see some good prices on the other horses if you like them in this race. For me, I'm going to include 3 since it's the pick 4 that you could probably chop down. But the first one would be Taxed, the number 3 horse with Brian Hernandez. This horse I think has like the most experience off of Lasix in this bunch for the most part. Um, has won off of Lasix, which is like another thing I look at is it's one thing to run okay in a stakes race off without Lasix, but how many times can you do it and not win before it's kind of a mark against the durability of the horse? Because there's a lot of horses in this race that maybe do have some off Lasix experience, but they haven't won at all. Like
Mm.
Hidden Connection, the 2, going to be some early speed. Has run quite a bit off Lasix, but has never won and has only finished second twice. So to me, that's kind of like maybe an indicator that the Lasix is giving her the extra endurance that
Right.
she needs when she's winning these races. Because the few times she's run with Lasix, she won, and then she was 2.5 off in a stakes race last time
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
So I like that's just I'm always gonna gravitate to the horse that has the most experience off Lasix. So I like Tax. A lot of great stakes experience for a 4-year-old. 2 of 4 at the distance has come off of some pretty quick paces at a mile, 23:46. I don't see her other mile. Then the workouts are really good, consistently 48 seconds for a while. Last time was sixth of 159th of that day of 4 furlongs. That's really good. And then the Brian Hernandez, he's this is like what you kind of expect, I think, based on some of his recent performances, about 22% at the meet. But that's actually a little bit higher than most of his other meets he's performing at now. So if anything, you give him a little extra look here at Ellis Park right now. And then the second horse actually like you'll get a good price on because it's maybe a little less experienced stake wise, but it has won off the Lasix, and that's the 9 Jersey Pearl. Again, this is Luis Sayas, so keep an eye on actually who gets on this horse. But 2 back, one off of Lasix at 6 furlongs. That was to end the year last year, so this is his second back from her second back from a layoff. So I would expect to see a little bit of improvement coming back a second for the second time off a layoff, and the last time was kind of like a mediocre run, honestly. So if she could improve off of that, and she's got the off Lasix experience, um, you'll probably see a really good price, like 10 to 1, 11 to 1, maybe on this. It'll be just an off the pace horse, and then the fractions fitter. I think the question is, I guess, how will she look at a mile? She's not ran at a mile before. She's ran at Ellis Park at 6 furlongs and won. That was with Lasix. But sometimes on the stretch outs, like they've been working this horse good, like consistently at 5 furlongs. So you would think they're building up the endurance for a mile race. And then if I were to throw in a third one here, um, you'll see like Musical Mischief is probably going to take most of the money in this race, maybe be even with Tax. But I didn't love what I guess I like some of the past performances from Musical Mischief. Um, I don't know. I just couldn't get there. I didn't love it. Like last time off of Lasix, really good speed figure, but lost a Shotgun Hottie in $100,000 at a mile in the eighth. And I don't know if Shotgun Hottie is like an amazing horse, honestly.
And her
But
last race was with Lasix.
yeah, with Lasix, she'll
So
cut
it'd
back at
be
a
her first
mile,
one off.
16th a mile. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't because like you see the good. That'll be a thing that gets her taking a lot of money. Is like she's put up some really good speed figures recently, and one really good speed figure off of Lasix. But I just don't know how good that result really was. It was only a 7 horse race. Shotgun Hottie's okay. That was with John Velasquez, and now a little bit of a downgrade maybe to Edgar Morales. He's not bad, but he's not going to get the same performance as John Velasquez. Good workouts, I guess. Yeah, some pretty good workouts, but we'll see. We'll see if it has the endurance for like this, a late speed tax run or something. And then if I were to include a third horse in here, I would include actually the number 2 Hidden Connection, even though she hasn't won off of Lasix. Just that early speed bias, and she's cutting back to a mile, and she does have quite a bit of off Lasix experience. Um, she could get out far enough to just maybe outrun any late speed in this race because there's actually not that much late speed in this race. Take a Stand, the number 10, like not does not look good off of Lasix. I don't know. I couldn't get behind that. And that's the thing with late horses off of Lasix is all of their energy is being expended late. and that's where Lasix kind of gives you that endurance, is like the extra stretch run where without it they're already tiring out. So I just don't think there's a lot of late speed. I guess magical loot's gonna take some money, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's kind of fluky their results a little bit. I didn't love it, but I did like hitting connections. Got really good early speed. 23:46 at a mile and 16 last out. That's pretty quick. At a mile, they've put out 23:45. They were just off of that pace. 23:47, just off the pace. So they'll be at the front of the pack, and they do have a chance, I guess, to just hold on if none of the late speed comes.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be the third horse I include. Um, oh, and it gets a little a jockey upgrade, I think, with Christian Torres, as far as Alpha Lasix jockeys. Little has experience with Christian last year, but it's been a while.
And that's a Torres Calhoun horse. That's what they call that.
Could we think of a better name? That's a long one.
Brett. Torres Brett.
Some of the names, it's just hard to cook up a good. Ooh, like a brisket. You could combine Flo and Giro and brisket into something nice. That sounds like it all rolls together.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, get some of these names, and maybe we can come back with some name combinations that people can pick up.
Some more sound bites.
Okay, so I guess I'll just do a summary, a review real quick. Late pick 4, starting in race 7. I got politically correct the 4, 3 echoes the 6. I really like that horse in that race. And then Owen Almighty the 7 would be the last horse I would include. In the 8, She's a Funky Drummer, the 8. Rich City Girl, the 3. And then American Woman, the 10. The 9, Try to Single with Tarifa. And then in the 10, Tax, the 3. Jersey Pearl, the 9. And then the third horse will be Hidden Connection, the 2. And then we'll see if I play I'll play all those in the pick 4, and we'll see if I put in like a smaller pick 6 ticket with a couple single legs in the earlier races before the pick 4. Yeah, but it's pretty good races in this card, I think. Next time we'll use that organically because Flaps, he's not on any of these horses, so sucks. You got a soundbite and you can't even use it.
If you really like a horse, you should have a million links. Soundbite.
He's gonna win by a million.
By a million links.
Yeah, that's good.
And then you start rolling out the merch.
Oh yeah, I'm just dying to get the merch rolling. I know people want to get their hands on some merch. Maybe a necklace that's a million links long.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that could work. Something like that.
Oh yeah.
We'll think on it. We'll get the interns here to cook up something for them.
I got them cooking me dinner right now. I got flav on it.